St. Paul, The Fan.
Comedian Joe Gatto is set to bring laughter to Minnesota with his night of comedy on Saturday, December 9th at the historic State Theater. Head over to our contest page to enter to win a pair of tickets to this night of laughter. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest to enter.
In the corner of my eye, I saw you.
So, Mitch Moss, why is Cleveland a more tortured fan base than the Twin Cities when the Minnesota Twins took down the World Series in 91? Okay, now that is 91.
Yeah, that was that's 33 years ago.
Okay, and maybe we're just talking Browns here, which we are. But nevertheless, from an ancillary standpoint, or at least a tentacle standpoint, you got LeBron winning those titles. You got the Ohio State Buckeyes, who, I mean, they're seemingly good every single year. The Indians were good when they were the Indians. Now they're the Guardians. I mean,
you can't be good as the Guardians.
The Minnesota fan base, why do you think the Cleveland fan base is more tortured than ours?
First of all, I'm going to win exactly 0 people over here, as you said that I'm from Wisconsin. So I'm talking specifically for the football team. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go back in history. I mean, the drive, the fumble, how many quarterbacks have they started since Tim Couch? I lost count, it's like 30. But I can end the argument here and drop the mic against any other fan base by just telling you that their team was ripped out from underneath them.
Oh, yeah.
They moved to Baltimore, and that organization has since won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, that hurt. Well, we have
That ends it right there.
Okay, no, it does not.
No.
Gary Anderson.
Really, really good.
Darren Nelson, Blair Walsh, Drew Pearson, Favre throwing the intercept. They lose in the most painful way possible.
I understand. Yeah. I mean, I understand you're tired and cranky from starting a radio show at 4 a.m., but do you have to come in here and bitch about our team and our lot in life and ruin our moods? I mean, we're interlopers. We're from outstate. I mean, even losing is fun in this town for us. Not that I would play or anything, but if I were able to, then it would be fun. You know what I mean?
And Mitch, to go off, yes, they lost their football team that went on to win championships. We had our hockey team ripped out of our city, and we are a hockey state.
Thank you.
And then the Stars went on to win championships.
So you know that feeling. You know how awful that feeling is.
That feels terrible.
Right?
And we have all the other losses with the football team.
What about...
And our football team gets close. I mean, the beauty of being the Browns fan is your teams are always bad.
That's
so
the
there's
beauty
an
of it.
expectation of winning. We come close. The 6 straight NFC championship losses. Think about how uncalculatable that is.
Very good.
To get to, you're 1 game away from the Super Bowl 6 times, and you lose them all.
And that's the key to it, is if you're a Browns fan, you are resigned to just show us something. The dog pound ain't coming down to watch whether it's Mitch and Pauly or Cleveland's version of 9 to noon in the Power Trip morning show in Vegas, just to see what Allegiant looks like. The resignation of having an absolutely bull bleep team versus, in some ways, the amount of hope that we sell on our radio show about our favorite team, that team always being on the cusp. As bad as things have been for this Vikings team and the popped Achilles from the quarterback, this team is 6-6 in a super muddy and mediocre NFC with a chance to make the playoffs and maybe spark somebody. So I think the resignation of Cleveland makes it worse here in Minnesota.
Last thing on this from me, they also finally tried to give that fan base some hope by signing a guy who, like massages a little bit too much to the worst contract, arguably, in all sports.
That's a great point,
That's
actually.
that too.
I forgot about
that's
John.
Not oxymoronic, not redundant. To say that in this town, I mean...
We're probably 50 feet away if you guys want to...
Yeah, right. How would you know that? And Pauly, why? I mean, I'm watching Mitch talk respectfully, all right, and I'm looking at him, what you're supposed to do in a conversation.
Yeah.
Why are you staring longingly at me? You're just looking at me. It's weird.
I can't get over the hair.
What?
I haven't seen you in like 6 years. I'm like, what the hell happened?
I mean, you're not
that old.
You were just staring longingly at the beast.
Thank God Taylor Swift didn't show up.
All right, I'm going to tout you.
I know.
I'm going to tout you. You ready? I already gave Pauly one earlier. He cut loose with Vikings 11-0-1 first quarter unders. Yeah. Oh, now both these teams are off a bye, so there's going to be some functioning correctability with some things. So, that's, I don't want to say it's a tread lightly terrorism here, but nevertheless, that does matter. I shared with him, and I left my game calling depth chart upstairs. But nevertheless, The Las Vegas Raiders have more than a handful of times in the third quarter not scored a point. Big fat 0. And they haven't scored a touchdown in the third quarter in almost 2.5 months. Okay, so keep that in mind. Minnesota, it's probably a 115, a minus 120, something like that to win the quarter. And finally, David Montgomery, running back for the Detroit Lions. He is minus 118 to score a touchdown of any kind against his former team, the Chicago Bears.
Nice.
Revenge
Where?
game.
Nice.
At Soldier Field. My work is done. Yours has just begun. Anything else I can do for you? I mean, I can't even walk into a freaking sports book per these dumbass rules, and I'm sitting here touting the greatest touts ever to tout in the history of touts. This sucks.
Tread lightly with the Raider thing. A lot of that is McDaniels, who might have been the worst coach in NFL history.
Oh, yeah. How great was it when the players are all smoking cigars after he's gone?
I know.
They could not stand him.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So tell me, is this a Raider town now? Have people, has the fan base galvanized around the Raiders?
No, it's a Knights town.
No,
it's a Knights town.
55%, the Vivid Seats bit, 55% of the fans Sunday, Vivid Seats, I said it earlier before you guys got here, they, with their analytics and the data or whatever they do, the, what would it, the
ticket reseller?
No, but it's the analytics, but the, whatever.
Well, whatever. Davis complains about it every game.
He does. Oh, he does?
Almost every game it's a road game.
So it's a thing.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's not just SoFi.
Oh, Chief fans take over.
I didn't know that.
No.
Denver fans take over.
Yeah.
Packer fans take over.
Oh, crocodile
Steeler fans took over.
Money for this thing.
Yeah.
Bringing them here in the first place.
So with where people are buying tickets, I'm not an elite Vivid Seats mind, but whatever intel they're getting, they can tell that 55% of people who have purchased tickets, a lot of them, tens of thousands, to get to this game are going to be rooting for them. Like 55% of the fans.
Yeah, but that's every game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But look at the turnout here today.
And I didn't know that.
Look at the turnout for your shows today. I mean, this is awesome from everybody traveling out here, and I'm guessing that a lot of Viking fans have also relocated to Las Vegas.
Yes.
So they're going to show up, and they're lifelong, fans of the purple, so they're going to show up in their jerseys. Yeah.
Well, the Knights, obviously, because you had the shooting, brought the community together, the horrific events of the shooting.
Wow.
They go to the Stanley Cup final as an expansion team right away.
And you mean the Mandalay Bay?
Mandalay Bay. That was the opening week of their first ever season.
Yeah, I mean, I get here on Thursday.
Not the latest shooting.
The con and the power trip got here on Wednesday.
Unfortunately.
So my guy taking me from the airport to the spot, to the hotel. He was like this. We were right by Thomas and Mack. All right, so Thomas and Mack's off to the right. Might have been on Paradise.
Yeah.
And he said, I sat in this spot in my car for 3 hours yesterday, where there were. I mean, he
it's on lockdown
with the shooting. I think he was in that spot like right after it happened. So there are police officers running all over. I mean, he was right in the epicenter of that. Couldn't move for 3 hours.
Yeah,
crazy.
Bad deal.
So you also, he'll tell you about this because I know you teased it. The game tomorrow. This is a Laker town.
Yeah.
There are so many
Laker town.
There are so many Laker.
I bet.
Oh, God.
Well, I misread last night, and because
it's a Laker home game.
Well, because I was like, okay, AD's the best player in the game, but now maybe Zion can, hey, here I come. Okay, this is not, I'm going to usurp Anthony Davis and or LeBron, but watch me elevate this team to pass the Lakers. But then again, once I started hearing from some people and reading the importance of like legacy stuff to LeBron, and this is a thing with him.
I know it is. Yeah,
it's the first in-season tournament, and I want to win it, is what he's saying. But how about LeBron potentially in the locker room being like $500,000 for each player? Okay, now with all due respect, I'm gonna use your name. So say Mitch Moss is the last guy on the bench. I mean, from what I understand, because I know some people with that team, LeBron was basically like, Mitch Moss makes this veteran minimum. You think he needs that $500,000?
Yep.
You think he wants that $500,000?
Mm-hmm. So he really?
He went to the bottom feeders on the team in, I don't know if it's a team meeting right before the game or whatever, and maybe not as impassioned as I'm saying now, but that LeBron wants to win it for legacy. LeBron wants the bottom feeders on the team to get that 500.
I respect that. I can respect that. Big time.
Won by 40 points.
Yeah, I wish I'd known that before.
Well, no, right.
Some people.
Right. Darvin Ham has mentioned several times how much the money means to the players.
Yeah.
$500,000.
Well,
which let's go under tomorrow too.
And
if you're ever going to see defense, it's going to be tomorrow. The total's 240.
Well,
it's going to keep going up. Wait till tomorrow and then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Lakers play at a slow pace, but this Halliburton thing, man, he doesn't play at a slow pace.
No.
He's lickety split up and down the court.
He should absolutely be in the mix to win the MVP at this point.
Well, how about the total in the Indiana-Milwaukee game?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sucker opened to 253 and a half. And they bet it up.
I know.
Yes.
Because
but who's going to bet that thing under?
I know. That's why he's right. Wait.
Yeah.
It's an event, and the public's watching, and people bet what they want to see.
Yeah.
It was the highest total since 1991.
You guys are so freaking sharp, it's unbelievable.
1991, the highest total. But stayed under because they're playing for $500,000.
Mitch and Pauly follow the money. VSiN or VSiN?
VSiN's good.
Yeah, VSiN. And free iHeartRadio app where you also can listen to this Friday football feast from Buffalo Wild Wings, Las Vegas. I used to be one of these individuals driving up here from the L.A. area, having gone to high school there, Pasadena City College and stuff. Can you imagine, because getting rooms in this town this weekend, unless you got a hook, the roads, I mean, the streets are packed. You got this Formula One clipping penalty that ended. So now they're taking down these stands and everything. So like half the thing shut up. Like Koval took like 45 minutes last night.
Yep.
And so with all that said, the humanity starting at about noon today that's going to be negotiating 10 East and then to Las Vegas, looking for rooms. Looking for those little cards outside the hotels, just flipping those cards and everything. I mean, it's about ready to be greasy here this weekend, man. I ain't kidding you. It's going to be greasy here.
Come right to your room. Yeah, have a party. Yeah.
Talk to me about why, we love hockey, right? Minnesotans. Why are the Knights really the home team here? Because they came first?
No, well, that, and also,
timing of it.
They planted the seed here. Exactly right. So they
didn't move from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
It started here.
It's not a relocation. Yep. None of that. Bill Foley, the owner, said, I want a team. I'm going to pay the rights. I'm going to put them in Las Vegas. And for so many years, you have to understand that we were beaten over the heads here as Las Vegans, like, you're never going to get a pro team. The gambling, every sport was anti-gambling.
Right.
Well, that went bye-bye when PASPA was shut down, and now states can legalize gambling. And so that's our team now. Everybody's team here is the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
For the football team.
But in the second year getting to the Cup, granted they lose against the Cap.
First year.
Right.
Yeah.
And I watched them, was it Game 7? I watched that final game they lost at Washington. Is it Tommy Rockers? Or Tommy Rockers?
Yeah, that's a spot down there.
Yeah, right over there. Yeah, I watched that here, man.
Oh, you did?
And that bar was packed that evening for a road game, But having that success early, that shapes the whole thing, right?
To Paulie's point, when he said this is a Lakers town, I'll tell you, to me, this is a bigger Lakers town than it is a Raiders town, and they're here.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because nobody is really from Las Vegas originally, right? I mean, it's very rare when you meet somebody, hey, where are you from? Well, born and raised. Really? You're a unicorn.
Yeah.
So everybody
and you're also 18 years old.
Exactly. So you're either from the Midwest, the Northeast, you're from California, you're from the South. You already have a football team.
Wow.
Right? So that's a huge difference.
Yeah, but when I got up at 4 a.m. to get ready for the show, and then I started rolling over here at 4:45, Lolita and Tanqueray next to the slot machines, well, they told me they were both from Henderson, like lifetime Las Vegans or Hendersonians or whatever. So it happens. There are people from here.
Grad school's expensive.
Very expensive.
I'm Lolita, and this is my friend Tanqueray.
So obviously, this goes down that same pathway. Then the fact that organically you're at Las Vegas is able to grow with the Knights and vice versa. The baseball team now coming here. I don't know where it's going to be built.
Oh, wow.
I don't know who to be more annoyed by, the city of Oakland or just ownership casting themselves off and leaving town. But now you're going to have a baseball team, Mitch and Pauly. How about that? High rollers, get comped rooms, and a ticket to the Las Vegas Athletics game. Any appetite for that?
Freaking abomination. Wow. No one wants them. I can't believe this happened.
Why does nobody want professional baseball here?
Well, they're going to
look who it is.
Yeah.
It's the Ace.
But it's a roof. They have a roof, right?
Where will they
on
play?
The stadium?
Right away?
They'll build it, yeah. So it's going to be the Tropicana site.
It is.
So down the street on the ownership is come on, that guy's a total joke.
Yeah.
And now you're going to put it for the locals. They got to come down to the Strip every game. Come on.
They don't want to, right?
No, they have a beautiful AAA park out in Summerlin, one of the suburbs here. It's awesome. I'd rather have that. People would rather go to those games.
I'll be in Summerlin later today. I can't remember the name of the park, but the Red Rocks out there and everything.
Oh, it's awesome.
I would imagine, like for Las Vegas Raiders, Vegas Golden Knights, this new baseball thing and everything. Is that like a place where players and coaches and stuff would live, Summerlin?
I think it's a haven, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice out there, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Now, people.
I can't exactly remember 5 years ago while I was like driving around neighborhoods and stuff, but nevertheless, it's a very nice neighborhood, isn't it?
We'd love to have it.
Very nice.
Stay longer.
Knock on a few doors.
Now, your locals, if they want to go to a Raider game, they also got to drive right into the Strip. But what you're telling me is nobody wants to deal with the Strip, right? If you live here,
F1
you live here, you don't want it. Yeah, the F1.
Is F1 done?
That thing's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
But that had to be
take a while
a major cluster here.
6 months to take down everything,
Yes.
it looks like.
Yeah, right?
Construction.
Was it worth it?
I mean, Paul leading into it, did you know anybody who was excited for it?
No.
Well, I
But
mean,
you got the right clientele, though.
Yeah.
Everyone hated it. At the win that night, the minimum blackjack hand was $1,000 a hand.
Oh, come on.
That's
It was every
insane.
table?
Oh, there's so much.
Swear to God.
By the way, what'd they tip overall? The dealers
$1 million.
there?
The dealers made it tips.
Yeah.
Oh, my heavens.
In one night.
Yeah, one night.
Like across all of Las
You
Vegas.
got that clientele, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are going to sit down and sweat a Formula One race for 3 hours. But if you can get Mario Andretti at plus 510 off a layoff, I'm in. I'll be right there off Koval in the bleachers, man. Hey,
It's a foreign audience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's middle of the night. Looked like a freak. The video, a video game, was so cool how the track was laid out. But that's all foreign money.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that's the presentation and then all those hot blackjack tables, right?
Yeah.
There's just not an American appetite or audience for F1.
How it started. You had an accident right away. A guy hit a pothole. And he had it delayed.
Oh, the manhole.
how do you have a pothole on the F1 track?
I know. And then it was delayed, and then they kicked him out at like 2 in the morning. It's like, wait a second, I paid $30,000 for the tickets here. And they kicked him out. And there's a lawsuit now.
That's unbelievable.
There's a lawsuit.
Oh, by the way, think about the rules for a second. The guy who runs over the pothole, his fault, I guess, because he gets like a 10-stroke penalty. He has to go back to like position number 12 during the
Wow. That's not his fault.
Of course not.
No.
Whoever made the stupid track. Oh, God.
And so now is this an annual thing? Right now that you've paid to like set the course and level the streets and everything else, is it going to be every year?
I think that's
level the streets. What do you mean?
They had to like laser level the streets. You can't have bulges.
Well, they
and
missed a spot.
Stuff. Yeah. So is it coming back next year?
They signed like a 10-year deal.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's annual.
Oh, sounds like you guys who live here hated it. Because of the inconvenience.
The whole city was under construction.
Yeah, but see,
I
the
couldn't
thing
take it.
is, like, I listen to Follow the Money, so does Chart. So, I mean, I know that you guys, I can understand what's happening here. Here's what's happening, Margo, is Follow the Money at VSIN, the free iHeartRadio app, YouTube channel, Twitch, the whole thing. Well, they're able to do endorsements, okay?
Right.
Well, Pauly just got one for Spearmint Rhino. And the roads to Spearmint Rhino were closed. So, therefore, I think he missed an appearance with Lolita and Tanqueray. And so then somebody else rolled in, Jonathan Von Ruten, whatever that guy's, Von Tobin or whatever. Well, he rolled in, stole the endorsement, gets back in the champagne room with Tanqueray, and now he won't tell us what happened.
Well, the fact that he's making $5,000 per appearance, and that's why Abbott won't answer your calls, by the way.
Yeah.
Because
Despicable.
he doesn't want to have to write that check to you that we've been talking about.
Exactly.
Well, Ted DiBiase.
Rick Scabaret is not giving you $5,000 a month. Okay.
You have to go.
Maybe they are.
You have to go in there.
In where?
It's a run. It's like they need a runway in there. All the girls come from Los Angeles. All the girls, and then it's just popping at 2 in the morning.
That sounds
and you're
great.
like, where am I? Victoria's Secret show?
That sounds great.
It doesn't even get busy or hot until like 2-3 a.m.
If I'm at 2-3 a.m.
That's when you want to be there.
You guys do that before work then? So you hit that and then
we go to work. Yeah, that's normally the deal.
Oh, that's absolutely.
Your show's 3 hours, right? Follow the Money.
Yeah.
How great is it on Friday, your final radio day of the week? You get to do an extra 45 minutes with us. Isn't that awesome? It's awesome that you guys came by. Just a few more minutes. We, not me, but a lot of people here would like you to tout. So with the football games this weekend, point spreads, money lines, pleasers, teasers, whatever you got. What do you like this weekend in the National Football League?
It's going to be a mini Viking home game. I trust O'Connell off the bye. Jefferson's playing. Dobbs can't be as bad as he was on Monday night. Flores sends the blitz off the bus. Won't go well for O'Connell. Vikings win. Vikings cover. And
what's the line? 3?
3. Okay. Total of 40. And then this Cleveland-Jacksonville game. So we just saw what happened last night. These historically low totals have always gone over.
Yeah.
They go back to 1991, the game last night. So you're sitting like a 31 in the Jacksonville-Cleveland.
Is Lawrence playing?
I don't be surprised if he is. I don't know.
It'd be Beathard, right?
Even if it's Beathard.
If it is Beathard.
And by the way, Beathard's hurt too.
Yeah, he was limited.
Right?
Yeah. But Flacco, I mean, God love him. They just bring him off the street and they're going shotgun and throwing it.
Does living in Vegas from an over-under standpoint, does it cause masochism? And what I'm saying is playing in under 30 is masochistic. I mean, you might as well have your nipples pierced while watching the game. It's simply because it's rooting for under. It's awful.
Yes.
I mean, it's
like
bad for the system. It's just.
Well, that's one thing that we've certainly learned over the years. Pro bettors, that's how they, like in high-priced games, that the public is expecting a lot to happen. Total might be super high, whatever. They like to go the other way. It's going to be like, nothing's going to happen, so they'll bet unders on props.
Well, like Milwaukee, Indiana last night.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, but in basketball, I mean, if that thing opened at 253 and a half, 254, gets up to 257. I mean, basketball, you can be right 98.5% of the game. Then some Clipper hits 3 3-pointers in the last 45 seconds.
Foul
and you're wrong.
fest?
Yeah, foul fest.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We're doing the show from the South Point after the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl, right? So we're trying to collect our thoughts. We're getting notes from certain bookmakers. Our buddy, Fitzy, who worked at the South Point at the time, said, guys, you're not going to believe what one bettor did. He's a pro. He takes big numbers. Think about this now. Again, that total was mid-50s for the game? High-powered offenses.
Yeah.
Goff was humming that year.
Yeah.
One bettor took the South Point for $100,000 because he put $250 that the Rams would score exactly 3 points in the game at 400-1.
Wow.
And he wanted nothing to happen.
That's phenomenal.
Dreams come true.
Unbelievable.
And he's a pro.
Imagine that sweat.
That guy, yeah.
Is that a pro bet?
Oh, yeah.
That's a pro big time.
That's a
10
guy,
out of 10 pro bet.
That's guy,
not Rube being like, I'm going to throw $2 on this, put together a 10-team parlay and see what happens.
That's not common, man. No.
Come on, man.
Common.
I mean, was Common mean to you or something when you were an intern at 1130 KFAN?
I like the guy, but he put his feet up while he's doing the show.
Well, yeah,
like,
but
what is he?
right.
I'm on number 17 here, and I'm like, what is this? He's talking about his golf. I guess he must move product. I don't know.
Don't you have a certain level of respect for somebody?
Absolutely.
Who can do that and sustain for a quarter century doing that, or a little more?
Yes.
Either that or the fan base is truly what he says. 7 out of every 10 people you meet are dumb, and maybe that plays into it. I don't know.
Might be light on that.
All right, last one here. There are a couple of ballyhooed games this weekend, and the public likes to bet games like Buffalo at Kansas City and Philly at Dallas. And, Philly, like I was talking to Pauly before you got here. Like, I'm certainly not going to bet last night's game, but you got Trubisky versus Zappi. You got Pittsburgh embarrassing itself at home against Arizona and players being like, we look past them. Okay, so I would expect like a ball of fire to come out from Pittsburgh in that game. And in New England, you got Belichick who, shoot, man. I mean, when he found out that when somebody first blew their nose in Wuhan, he purchased the Hubble telescope to steal somebody's draft picks. That's just how he operates, knowing it's going to be quarantine and indoors. So, therefore, sitting there looking at a 2, he ain't mad at that 2. He may act like he's mad at that 2 and 10. He ain't really mad at that 2 with these quarterbacks on the horizon. Yeah. So I kind of thought, not that he's going to tank it or anything, but they have nothing. I mean, they're going to lose, and then they win. So now in the Philadelphia game, what San Francisco did to Philadelphia should be felonious in 48 states. I mean, it was, and I don't see San Francisco losing a game the rest of the year, and that includes the Super Bowl, and I am not a prisoner of the moment type guy. I mean, if they stay healthy. But nevertheless, Philadelphia with a correction. I thought Dallas jacked around a little bit with Washington on Thanksgiving. Probably could have beaten them a little more. They got bored with it. What do you guys think of that game in Philly on the bounce back?
There's something wrong with Philly.
Yeah.
Hurts is banged up. Dallas has won 14 in a row at home.
Yep.
They've been an ATS machine until Thursday. Dak might win the MVP. This is a big game for the MVP.
Wow.
It's Philly's gauntlet.
Oh, Dak might win the MVP.
Plus 350.
He's plus 350. Yeah.
He's right there with Purdy in the
What
odds.
about, can Stroud win the MVP?
That's what he said.
This morning I went on their show and said Stroud is plus 3,000.
What? He's 30 to 1?
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, why can't he? Because he's a rookie? That to me sounds silly.
It is silly.
Yeah.
It's too much to overcome.
Yeah.
You look at the gauntlet. Phillies had to play Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas again.
Yeah.
It's too much.
And I'll give you this. So, the Philadelphia defense, they're not even close to the same as last year.
Especially pass defense.
Passing, PA, they're 24th in DVOA against the pass.
What's DVOA? I mean, I've seen it, but I don't know how to break it down.
Advanced numbers,
okay.
They allow 88.8 yards per game to wide receiver number ones. CD Lamb, been cooking for a good 6 weeks.
Yep.
They're 31st in DVOA to wide receiver twos and 31st in DVOA to tight ends. They can't stop anybody through the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting killed in the slot in particular because they've been, Avonte Maddox has been out. They've had all these guys that turn over in the slot. CeeDee Lamb runs from the slot all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that sounds like an anytime Ferguson or Schoonmaker touchdown at like 100 to 1.
That's...
You know what I mean? Is it Schoonmaker or whatever that Clipper's name is?
You might get... Dak likes to target Ferguson in the red zone early on.
Wow.
Like Ferguson, high odds to score the first touchdown overall of the game.
Yeah, you see what I come up with when I put together my game calling depth charts just to call a game?
Yeah.
I mean, this is next level right here.
No, this is, we are paying attention.
Did you see Mitch and Pauly, or specifically Mitch, look at me like, you've done this as long as you have and called Vikings games as long as you have? You don't know what DVOA is? They're like, you don't know what that is?
I was surprised you put him on the spot. We'll do that all the time. Like, hey, what's this analytic? I mean, it's crickets, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we know those numbers exist, and we respect them, but I can't articulate or define them by any stretch.
Well, analytics are best for, and I'm not here's the reality. Like somebody once said, here's the reality to me. And I'm like, man, I've been waiting 53 years for the freaking reality. Let me take a deep breath just to learn exactly what my lot in life is.
Yeah, pen and a pad.
So I'm not, here's the reality guy. However, I think it can be proven with baseball, okay, analytics for free agency and trades and all that, and wagering. I think analytics are high end. In ultimate team games, like where A needs to get to B to C to D, football and hockey. I mean, you can have them. That's basically it. I mean, when it comes to spotting up or when it comes to finding a free agent, it's because you can't take. Now, with NBA, with PER and stuff like that, I can't speak to that. But there's so much emotion and so much violence and so much hitting and things like that in those two-team games that, like DVOA, I'm not disrespecting what you're saying. No. Do you think it really, really helps, like analytics in National Football League?
I think, Charles, you use it quite a bit, don't you, for the fantasy stuff? I mean,
we've argued about it for 10 years.
And like when you look at it, they'll break it down, like how they slow down like I said, receiver 1, 2s, and 3s.
Yeah, I like that.
Against tight ends specifically.
No doubt.
I mean, bad matchups.
Yeah, we don't disrespect it.
All that kind of stuff.
The problem I had, why I melted initially, was the Pro Football Focus was taking the Sunday night TV games because they didn't have access to the All 22, and they were putting out a bunch of stuff off just the TV copy. You can't see everything with the TV copy. And then they were correcting it, moving on. But the problem is, in a prisoner of moment society, people are going to take the initial thing they hear and think it's gospel, gridiron gospel, and it's not. But they subsequently fix that rather nicely.
Okay, very good.
I love you guys, man. You guys are so awesome for coming by.
You too.
I appreciate you. I love your radio show. And God bless you guys, man. Thanks for stopping by, okay?
See you at the Rhino.
Appreciate you. Hey. Mitch and Pauly, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey!
Round of applause for stopping by. That was super sweet. Follow the money. A free iHeartRadio app and VSIN. We'll be right back feasting on the
PA on the Fan.
Get ready for your chance to battle the banker live on stage. Deal or No Deal is live, coming to the island Friday and through Sunday, December 15th and 17th, bringing incredible prizes with it. Head over to our contest page for a chance to win a pair of tickets to this can't-miss live production. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest to enter.
a very strange reaction. The more I see, the more I do. Something like a phenomenon, baby. Telling your body to come along, but white lines blow away. Rock it. Ticket to ride, White Line Highway. Tell all your friends they can go my way. Pay your toll, sell your soul. Pound for pound, costs more than gold. The longer you stay, the more you pay. My white lines go a long way, either up your nose or through your vein with nothing to gain.
Welcome back, 9 to noon here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Miracle Mile next to Planet Hollywood here in Las Vegas. By the way, Vikings fans, whether or not you're going to the game, if you are looking for a spot to hang out, Buffalo Wild Wings, a pregame party taking place right here at B-Dub's Miracle Mile from 9 to noon on game day Sunday. 9 to noon, pregame party for all you Vikings faithful. Anybody, really, come to B-Dubs here right next to adjacent Planet Hollywood. Also use the hashtag KFAN Vegas when you tag Buffalo Wild Wings, because one of you might win a $25 gift card, PA.
Gabe Henderson from Vikings.com rejoins the equation, and now for the first time, we welcome in a quarter-century guest to the 9 to noon and or 10 to 1 radio show. He is a columnist for the Star Tribune. He's one of the very best friends I've ever had in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get a witness and a raucous round of applause for Mr. Lavelle E. Neal III.
What's up?
Wobble.
What's up, Viking fans?
Not a third of a century? Is that what you said? Holy cow.
Yeah. He. What brings you out here?
I'm covering the game Sunday.
Oh, are you? You're writing a column about it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so do you come into a game with a column idea, or does the game have to establish the idea for the column?
A little bit of both. I may have an idea like, JJ's coming back this week, so that could be an obvious angle.
Yeah.
But if something crazy transpires during the game, like Josh Dobbs throwing for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Or Anthony Barr somehow gets 3 or 4 sacks, then I can always pivot,
Yeah.
So it kind of varies from game to game.
And you got Lavelle is from the south side of Chicago, and he's a Chicago Bears fan. We've had Beating the Bears segments, 9 to noon, 10 to 1, forever. And with the Bears, they host the Lions, right?
That's right, baby.
They're hosting the Lions.
Revenge game.
Bears are off a bye.
Yeah.
Lions are a little goofy right now, but they have a little push button to them, though, for the most part, outside of that Green Bay game. At least they think they do. They think they can push a button, and they're seasoned and good enough to just blow by somebody. They pushed that button in the Green Bay game, and the whole thing blew up in their face.
Sure did.
So what do you think of the game this weekend?
Here's what I think. Viking fans, are you ready to see an L hung on the Lions' asses this week?
Yeah.
That's what I think you need to be ready for. That last game in Ford Field did not go down well. Like fourth quarter collapse, epic.
Gee.
When you have a 98.5% chance of winning,
yeah.
let it slip through your hands.
Oh, wow.
That has motivated the entire Hallis Hall group, and they're going to come out on fire looking to kill Jared Goff.
Right.
And we're going to crack the door open for the Vikings a little bit this weekend.
Yeah,
for what? Winning the division?
Well, why not?
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully.
We need hope.
Your team learned from that Lions loss, and then they salted away us the next week. Now, we wanted them to keep unraveling at the end. That did not work out in our.
Well, that's why I wore the sweatshirt. I just wanted to remind the Vikings fans what happened in the last.
Oh,
game.
shut up!
Come on,
that was of all the Vikings games. I don't know about you, Gabe, because I know you watch back games to get ready for interviews and stuff. Likewise for me with O'Connell and everything, and that was the worst Vikings game to watch back. Even more so than okay, you're down 30 to Dallas in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you're getting. You had the blowouts last year.
Yeah.
It's this thing. It was just awful. And there are some of those with the team, whose opinions really matter, who I think feel exactly the same way, like looking at, hey, this guy and that guy and that guy. I can't believe what I saw. And the game was there. I mean, the game was there for the taking every step of the way.
Yes.
We got beat, but nevertheless, it was disappointing.
It was disappointing. It's probably the second worst game I've watched. The first worst game was 2 years ago, Detroit Lions. We gave them their first win at home.
What I should have said, worst one to watch in the O'Connell regime of all the KOC games.
For sure. I didn't think games could be worse than Dallas last year.
Yeah.
Chicago said, "Hold my beer." That was painful to watch back on TV, especially watching film with Pete Burgess last week.
Well, the crazy thing was that if you guys remember what happened that day is that the Wild fired Dean Evanson.
Looked at the crowd.
So I was supposed to cover the Bears game.
Yeah.
So I had to pivot and write a Dean Evanson's fired column. I missed the entire first half. So now I come in for the third quarter. I'm like, what? The Vikings had -7 yards rushing in the first quarter? What? I was just throwing the ball to the Bears?
Yeah.
What's going on here? So then I settled in and was like, wow, this game is hard to watch.
and yeah, I mean the Vikings and this it's not a loser's lament. It was fact into the game. I mean, you can't say it's fact until you see it and you know what happened. But Gabe and I, Nordo to a certain extent, we would lay out there that they've gone 15 games, including Bears 2, but nevertheless, the Vikings have had, I mean, down to, it's tough to say that about the Bears, man, because they went to Bajan, and they played Peterman.
True.
But we could just tell from that Denver game with some missed tackles and a few other things that the Vikings physically and mentally were a little more tired than some expected. And your quarterback had fresh legs. I mean, he played one game in a month and change.
I don't think Flores was fazed by a fresh Fields, though, and save for that final drive, which certainly can play in.
Oh, yes, he was.
I would say.
How often did they blitz? I mean, he knew I got a tired bunch. Some of them know the bye's on the horizon. He rushed 4 in that game more because he was worried about blitzing and Fields having a good call and getting loose for 70.
That's my point, is that he wasn't fazed. He had a game plan that absolutely shut him down. And the freshness of Fields, they didn't take advantage of that. And playing coverage on that last drive, and things get leaky. They find DJ Moore.
Yeah.
But even the play before that, I think they were rushing 3 or 4, not blitzing. And it should have been an unintentional grounding. And somehow that wasn't called. So they were getting there all night without having to blitz. And so Fields doesn't. That's why that's the most frustrating game for me, is because we're still having a hard time trying to understand how the hell the Vikings didn't win it.
We are at Buffalo Wild Wings Miracle Mile, just off the Las Vegas Strip, right next to Planet Hollywood. We being yours truly, Paul Allen, with Paul Charchi, and it's the Friday Football Feast. PA in charge. Nordo produces. Jared Wells, beloved J-Dub, is the engineer on site. Lavelle E Neal III, Star Tribune, Gabe Henderson of Vikings.com. They're here. We have many more joining us during the course of the show as we head into the second half of the Friday Football Feast on KFAN.
KFAN, the Fan.
Come on.
Join Corey Cove and Tenna B next Thursday, December 14th at Willie McCoy's in Albertville for Coors Light Hockey Night. Stop by from 7 to 9 to watch the hockey game and play hockey trivia for a chance to win sweet tickets to the January 4th game. More info at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
With the Friday football at Buffalo Wild Wings Las Vegas, there, hopefully you find the show's Power Trip at 9 to noon entertaining, because then, we can say that we have arrived to provide you with entertainment at no charge. It's at a Buffalo Wild Wings, so we are here to feed you. And if you happen to metaphorically lose your shirts at a table or with a game, we have shirts to throw into the crowd to put a new one on your back. Make some noise now, Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go on and feel it. Buffalo Wild Wings in Las Vegas, PA in charge. Take it away.
Lavelle, you've been allowed to come back for another segment.
Thank you.
I have a little bit of worry about what you're building. The Bears are building in Chicago, because you suddenly have like a top 5 defense. That's not cool. Your run defense is arguably one of the 2 best in the league. Your pass defense has got Jalen Johnson, who right now is like a top 5 cornerback in the league,
and now a pass rush.
And you're developing a pass rush out of thin air with no talent. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about where the Bears are headed, because it might be actual competency.
Yeah, I agree. I think trading and signing Montez Sweat was a great move for the defense. Now, it's helped all 3 levels of D now. You can get pressures sometimes with just 4. That helps the linebackers. And you're seeing that secondary, which has young talent with Jalen Johnson and his friends.
Yeah.
Not counting Eddie Jackson. He's a waste of protoplasm. But you're seeing that group starting to make plays. So, the defense has come along. And we have 4/5 of a good offensive line. I think we're a center away from having a group they can move forward with. So, with 2 picks that should be in the top 10, and one being the first, because of the Patriots winning yesterday, aside from me taking the Patriots in plus 5.5,
show off.
The fact that the Patriots won last night now means that the Panthers have to win 3 of their last 5 games to get out of the first.
That ain't happening.
First spot.
All right, so if you're the Bears, do you double down on quarterback and go, look, we're not going to let this opportunity slip and just may the best man win? Or do you do what most teams do and you get all fragile about your quarterback and you're like, oh, we can't bring any competition in for Justin Fields, and you trade that pick down and you accumulate more picks? Or do you go Marvin Harrison Jr. or something like that?
I appreciate these questions because I know this is a Viking show. I'm fully aware. I think Bears fans want Fields to work out really bad because he's an accountable, honest, straightforward fellow who doesn't cause any trouble, is not controversial, and has got an amazing talent. But I know people in Chicago who I know says here the determining factor about the QB is that can he make plays from the pocket when the game's on the line, and Fields has not done that consistently.
Right.
That window that opened for Fields against the Vikings last week was like the rare moment where he saw it and we got it out of his hand. So they're going to need to see more of that if they want to go forward with him. But I keep hearing they're going to draft a quarterback.
I would.
Gabe Henderson, Vikings and Raiders. Before you leave, give us some points that you think are pertinent for the Minnesota Vikings improving to 7-6. And for some here, who may be betting on the team -3, things that can lead them to, as we say in the 702 business, a cover.
Well, I'll start with just you talked about third quarter efficiency. The Las Vegas Raiders are being outscored 61-26 in the third quarter this year. So they've only scored 1 or 2 touchdowns all season in that third quarter. So the Vikings have to be good coming out of the half.
I'll adjust it.
My second thing is getting your receivers the ball in space. This Raiders team had the ninth most missed tackles in the NFL. Mm-hmm. They just got rid of Peters, their cornerback, who led the NFL in missed tackles.
Yeah.
So that was a thing of concern for the Raiders. So I would say get the ball to Justin Jefferson immediately, quick screens, Jordan Addison, quick screens, quick hitch routes, and let them just do what they do in one-on-one coverage. They are already dynamic playmakers, but we know this Raiders team, they're not the best tackling team. So I don't think it's as complicated as people are saying. Just let your playmakers make plays in space, and I believe this Vikings team will be successful on Sunday against the Raiders.
Time for one more.
What does T.J. Hawkinson and Jordan Addison look like this weekend? Because, for the last 6-7 games now, it's when's J.J. going to be back? And, T.J. talking when we had him at Toys for Tots, talking about he got to run some routes that J.J.'d be running if he was healthy. And so now J.J. back in the mix. What are you expecting from your top tight end and your secondary pass catcher?
I still think T.J. leads this team in receiving yards and receptions this upcoming game, just simply due to the fact that he's closer to the quarterback. I always say when it comes to quarterbacks trying to figure it out, they're always going to go inside out instead of outside in because they have to think less. The level of throwing the ball is less yards down the field. So TJ's going to get those catches. I think wherever Justin Jefferson is in the slot, he's going to get some of those targets too. But I don't think Jordan Addison has that big 100. Hopefully I'm wrong. But I don't think he has that big 100-yard game because you can put JJ and TJ in the slot to be able to make plays against their defense.
All right, well, off that, Dobbs never has thrown for 300 or more.
Yeah.
So, when I was thinking Mullins and Dobbs late last week, early in the week, I was looking at Mullins 17 and Dobbs 13. Mullins, one of his first games, maybe the first game was 415 at Seattle.
Yep.
But also in that game, he ran 18 times for minus 16 yards. So they just trying to put this whole thing together up to O'Connell making the proclamation on Wednesday that Dobbs would play. Josh never has thrown for 300 or more.
His career high was that Saints game, maybe. I think it was 268 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 268, 263. This is specifically if Max Crosby doesn't play, and I think it's 50-50 whether he plays. This could be a game with Jefferson back, Addison, Hawkinson, maybe Chargers guy Chandler catching some flares, that he can get over 300 yards. At 6-1 that he does. If I were betting it, I wouldn't bet it. Yeah. But nevertheless, what do you think about Dobbs throwing in this game before we say goodbye?
I don't know if this is going to be a 300-yard game, but I believe he will have a big game just due to his receivers getting yards after catch. I believe that's where this Vikings team, everybody talks about simplifying the game for Dobbs, and that just means getting the ball out of his hands early and letting his playmakers make plays. I believe he's going to he makes the right decisions. This is more so when he has to overthink and think down the field. That's when things get kind of confusing because still he's only had 3 games as a starter as the Minnesota Vikings quarterback. So I believe he does have a big game, but when you look at the film and you see the Chiefs had over 200 yards after catch, Kevin O'Connell was saying the same thing. Dobbs, just get the ball out the hands early. Let JJ, let JA, let those guys get some yards after catch, and we can be successful, hopefully converting into touchdowns instead of just field goals in the red or green zone.
Yeah.
I also believe that because the Raiders are in the bottom third in the NFL in rush defense, that there could be some rushing yards out there. So you may see the running game be more complementary with the passing game, allowing Dobbs to find some things down the field because the Raiders are going to be concerned about the run.
G, thank you very much for stopping by. I know you've been up since the wee hours, so you probably want some rest. You know, it's a beautiful metaphor of establishing our lots in life with the Vikings Entertainment Network. Gabe is staying at a 4 seasons. I'm staying at a 2 seasons. And that's just how things roll. Love
Appreciate
you, buddy.
You. Oh, wow.
LY, appreciate you. Hey, Gabe's got to go. Say goodbye. And loudly, man. Does a lot of work for you at Vikings.com.
Oh, yeah.
And 9 to noon. Gabe, the bomb. Appreciate you. Stick around for one more.
Sure.
Lavelle E Neal III, columnist for the Star Tribune, will be with us. We have 3 segments to go from Buffalo Wild Wings, a Miracle Mile adjacent to Planet Hollywood and the Las Vegas Strip. It's PA in charge. Feasting on KFAN.